My dear mother-in-law, I always thought of men being stronger than women, but I realise that although that may often be the case physically, emotionally, that is not so. Jesus is not only dead, but buried. And it was the women in our group, those faithful followers who provided for our needs, who were there at the end, who saw where he was buried. Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Joseph, and Salome. Once dead, Jesus' body should have been thrown into the ditch, another nameless criminal. But instead, he's now in the tomb of a rich man. Jesus, who started his life in a stable, born in a cave in Bethlehem, ends his life once more in a cave, but that of the rich. It was Joseph of Arimathea who had the courage that I lack. He's a member of the Jewish ruling council, but I'm told stood out against condemning Jesus to death. I've seen him before and know he is a secret follower of Jesus. Today, he was willing to make his allegiance known. Once Jesus was dead, Joseph went directly to Pilate and asked that he be allowed to take care of Jesus' body. Pilate agreed, and because the Sabbath was almost here, when work must cease, Jesus was wrapped in a linen cloth and placed quickly in a tomb, a heavy stone rolled in front. For 3 years I followed Jesus, listened as he taught, saw him heal, restore people to fullness of life. I've tasted the bread and fish he produced for so many from so little, been awed by his power over the wind and waves and authority over demons. I've asked questions, wrestled with the meaning of his parables, and time and again misunderstood what he said. I've enjoyed his company, walked hundreds of miles and shared meals together. But all for what? The scene of the tomb marked more than the end of Jesus' ministry, more than the end of our time together. It was the end of hope, the end of the promise of God's new kingdom. For a kingdom needs a king, and Jesus is now dead. I still believe, though, that Jesus was more than the King of the Jews, more than the promised Messiah, more than a man. He was my Lord and my God. But why did he throw it all away? He could have made such a difference, transformed us Jews from being oppressed subjects of the Roman Empire to the leaders of the world. I just don't understand why he chose to die. Once the Sabbath is over, I will come back to Galilee, back to fishing, back to the life I had when Jesus first called me to follow him. Life will never be the same again. Maybe when he called me to follow him, it would have been better to have said no. I think he chose the wrong man, for I failed him. But I'm also glad he gave me the chance. Love, Peter.